drink champagne. I'm totally vibing. It's true what they say. It's all about timing.
Hi guys, C Chronicles here. Welcome to Unscripted. If you're new on this channel, I post vlogs as well as fragrance reviews. Now, if you like that style of content, please consider subscribing and joining the family. And to those who are returning, thank you so much for coming back. Today, I have a Kilian with me, born to be unforgettable. I should have brought this fragrance to you maybe even 2 weeks ago because I've had it in my collection for over a month. But when I sniffed it off the nozzle there, when I was unboxing it, there was something that was a little bit offish. I wasn't sure whether it was patchouli or something. So I sprayed a couple of sprays out of it and said to myself, maybe it's gonna change. Revisited it, still got the same vibe. Revisited it again and still got the same vibes until I said to myself, no, I'm just gonna bring it. Okay, so I'm not sure whether this is one of those fragrances that is gonna need maceration, but it's not an experience that I've had with the Kilian. So this is giving me weird vibes. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Gonna spray it on a tester paper, this fragrance, and that is way too much in terms of how it vibes. Notes listed for this are going to be that Coca-Cola, and that was the reason why I purchased this one, because I do love Coca-Cola, right? In a fragrance. I love it as a drink. I love it in a fragrance, especially if it's done right, okay? I do have fragrances in my collection with a Coca-Cola note, Youth Dew being one of them, although the spices in that fragrance then take over so much to an extent that the Coca-Cola comes, but is a little bit muffled. And the other one that I do have in my collection that has the Coca-Cola note is that Coca-Cola, and that is very vivid. I like how it interprets the cola. Now this one has got Coca-Cola, which is one of the notes I bought it for. It's got the vanilla. The notes actually are divine. It also has cinnamon and some nutmeg, and then it has the lime and the cedar. But there is something in this fragrance that just by smelling it off the nozzle, right? I don't even have to put it this close. I'm just putting it this close because this is a video. But otherwise, just by smelling it off the nozzle, there is this note, this woody note, this cedar that they put in there. And I think it's the proportions of that just is a sort of like a put off when you smell this initially. You don't know what to make of it. It's like, oh my God, what's going on? So I do get the burst of the Coca-Cola in the beginning, but it's not a fizzy, sweet, syrupy style of Coca-Cola that I sometimes get, where it will be distinct in its effervescentness and fun and sweet and reminding you of, you opening a bottle of Coca-Cola. Even the cinnamon and the nutmeg do not get the chance to shine in their spiciness. And that's the weird part of it. So all I can put it down to is either this fragrance needs more time to fuse, since it's a release that's maybe 2-3 months old, or there's something wrong with this bottle, or that's exactly what they were going for, because it's really, really weird. It does feel like the cedar spoils things. Basically, what I'm saying is you will get the wafts of the Coca-Cola, just wafts off the Coca-Cola. But you don't even get to a point where you wish the Coca-Cola would have hung around, because it's like a pop-off, and then there is this overweight of a piney feel that just kind of overwhelms the whole fragrance, giving that nuance of, those corn, the pine cones. I remember growing up, those spiky things that you get off the pine tree and stuff. Growing up, even if it's the pine tree itself, if you interact with it, you touch it like this, it sticks on your hands. It's a commitment. You literally had to wash your hands with soap or whatever, but sometimes you do 2-3 washes, it'll still be there. So that is the thing that is vivid in here, and that I will attribute to the cedar, because they have put the cedar there. So that conifer is probably what is, just umbrellaing this fragrance and making it so heady, so pushy. I don't even want to call it masculine, guys, but I'm thinking maybe a man's nose would carry this one better, or would interpret this better than a woman's nose would, okay? Because even the vanilla doesn't get a chance to shine in its distinct sweetness. So it just becomes a fragrance whose note proportions do not interpret okay to my nose, and it's off off-putting in that way that it doesn't give me a realistic Coca-Cola. And I'm not saying I was expecting it to be so vivid in the Coca-Cola-ness and the stickiness of the Coca-Cola and stuff, but if a fragrance lists Coca-Cola and you're a person who purchases your fragrances mainly for the notes, you would kind of feel robbed at this moment, which is what I feel. And I purchased this one with my own money, and unfortunately it was a blind buy, and I wish I had known that this is how it's going to interpret. The only thing I can do is keep my fingers crossed that this is going to change, because it's not pleasant. Okay, I'm putting the paper here close to me, but I can literally talk to you about it even with the paper on the side there, because spraying this thing is a commitment. It's so bristly, it's so heady. I've sprayed it to test it on myself. First on my skin, I had to wash it off. On the clothes, I went for the hem of my clothing, but I remember on 2 occasions not being able to wear those clothes the entire day because it's so pushy and so long lasting in that headiness. That cedar is going to push you, to an extent that you've got to have a hardened nose for you to maybe be able to hold up this type of scent the whole day. Now, the lime also comes into the mix there, and in fact, the lime comes in the mix at the same time with that cedar, adding like a sour tone to this fragrance, which is why I said when I smelled it like this for the first time, it wasn't pleasant. And I thought, no, I'm going to spray a couple of sprays out. Maybe it's clogged there in that atomizer straw. Maybe it's clogged and I need to pump out a few sprays, after which I'll get something better. But it's still interpreting the same way. And this is after me revisiting this fragrance about maybe 6 times. So either it's supposed to vibe like that, or there's something wrong with this fragrance, or it hasn't macerated. That lime adds into that mix of the cedar, and then it gives you wafts of like a saliva note, which is quite disturbing there. And when they say you wear fragrances for mood, I'm one person who does wear fragrances for mood. I think you can see some of those little bottles there. I've been playing around with those little pretty bottles from a Middle Eastern house called Grandeur. Those are very mood lifting. Like literally, I could wake up in a very, I don't know, maybe stinky mood, and I would go for, let's say, the cotton candy, and it immediately just puts me in like a happy mood. It takes me to my childhood days and stuff like that. It's not nostalgic. This I don't know what it represents. It's that sort of fragrance that to me doesn't make me happy. That's all I can say. So quite pushy, very heady, going to appeal to anybody who loves beast mode, but it's not a safe blind buy, guys. And if I'm not mistaken, this is said to be a reformulation of an already existing fragrance, but I haven't had my nose on that already existing fragrance for me to speak about that particular fragrance. I wish I had my nose on that, already existing fragrance, which is said to be repackaged in this Born to be Unforgettable. That way, at least I would know whether this one is doing what it's supposed to do, or it needs a little bit of time to, to sit, after which it will change. I'm only going to hope that this Born to be Unforgettable will live up to the name, Born to be Unforgettable, in a good way, because at this point in time, yes, it's unforgettable, but in not a good way to my nose. So I wish, or I hope, it's going to turn out to be better. The lasting power is not a problem. It's actually headache inducing in its pushiness. So if you're after beastly, you're probably going to like this. It also is a DNA that can be worn by men, because it does have like a masculine tone to it, especially when the woods, that cedar, comes off as giving off like a masculine tone to it. And that sourness as well is something that you're going to get in some male fragrances. But if you're buying this one for the Coca-Cola note like I did, you might find yourself regretting if it doesn't change, because it is that cedar that's just doing too much in this fragrance. Too much of the cedar going on in this fragrance. It's not living up to the promise of what you would expect from a Coca-Cola toned fragrance. This does not even give the cinnamon and the nutmeg the time to be, to give it like a spiciness. It just jumps from wafts of, what could have been a nice Coca-Cola, doesn't even get too fizzy, and then slap in the face, you got yourself some cedar, and then it's a wrap. That's what you carry until the next wash, actually, because this one doesn't go away. So it's definitely guaranteed that it will last you up to the next wash, if not the next couple of washes. And I will revisit it if it does change, because I do know that some fragrances do start off funny and they do change. But after 6 tries, 1 month in my collection plus, I'm not sure, guys. See, Chronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section where we discuss more about this fragrance. Do you have it? If you have it, let me know in the comment section whether yours changed, or I just need to give this one a little bit more time. Remember to turn on post notifications, guys. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Stay safe, be blessed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.